Today's episode, Italian meat sauce. With a few ingredients and a lovely crock pot, this is going to make for a fabulous Italian sauce. Today we're going to do Italian slow-cooked meat sauce. Now this, when I was growing up, was something we did every Sunday, starting early in the morning, and it would take all day for this sauce to happen over the stove. And somebody would have to sit by the pot and stir it because you couldn't rely on the heat and you didn't want the sauce to burn and everything. But with the advent of our lovely friend, the slow cooker, the crock pot, we're going to put this sauce together real quick. It's a matter of a few ingredients. You got to prep your ingredients. Then we're going to load them up into the crock pot and just let it stew all day for about 6 hours. And then you'll have a sauce that is going to be just like a sauce that you slaved over all day. So let's start with this. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get together some onions and some bell peppers and get them in a pan so that they can start to get a little flavor on them. You don't want to just dump them in raw. So this is the only kind of prep you're going to have to do pretty much throughout this whole dish, because we want to heat it up a little bit and get a little color on it. I want to take some of this tomato paste and get a little bit of the flavor into it from being cooked as opposed to being just coming right out of a can. So I'm just going to dice up just a medium dice on our onions. Put these into a pan with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of salt. And that's going to be the start of what I call the flavor base. The flavor base is what's going to do that, flavor the entire batch of sauce. I usually do this in nice batches, so I'll fill that crock pot up. Because during the week I don't want to make homemade sauce. So what the crock pot allows me to do is make a whole batch, store it, and then I put it in individual baggies, and then I've got it all week long for whatever I need it for. Whether it be pasta or chicken cacciatore or whatever else I want to make, tomatoes, pickle sauce. Okay, so we got one onion here. I've got these little tiny onions that I grew out in these are from the garden. I want to use them up. They're so cute. Look at this, it's adorable. It's a little baby onion. It's almost shallot-like. They have a nice milder flavor. We're going to just dice them up. Okay, that's going to be the first ingredient going into the pot, is these onions. I'm going to heat up a little bit of olive oil. Just like a splish splash. Splish splash, they're going to be taking a bath. Let that heat up a little bit. And then we're going to get that in there and get them started. While that's heating up, I'm going to take care of some beautiful, these are from the garden also. These are green peppers that have ripened to the point where they've turned red. That's how that happens, folks, just in case you didn't know. Green peppers turn into red peppers. These are great for fire roasting. Great for throwing in sauces, whatever you need them for. We're just going to chop them up. Nothing like fresh vegetables out of the garden. I know there's no pesticides on these. I know there's no anything. Just pure water and dirt. is all it took to raise these. And we're going to make them the same size dice as the onions. I'm going to get the rest of these peppers cut up, and as soon as I do that, they're all going to go, this pan should be nice and hot. I'm going to throw them all in there together. So, we'll be right back. Okay, our pan is nice and hot. I've got all of our onions and peppers all prepped up. In the pan they're going to go, and they're going to heat through and get a nice little color on them. That's the sizzle we want to hear. And we're going to stir that around a little bit. And we're going to hit this with a little bit of salt to draw out some of the moisture. Remember, this batch right here, this right here, is what's going to flavor that entire crock pot full of sauce. So I want to get in all my seasonings in here. Here's some coarse ground pepper. I'm going to get together some other seasonings in a second, and we're going to put them in. But first we're going to let this cook down a little bit, maybe about 3 to 5 minutes. So in 3 to 5 minutes, we'll be back. I want to get you in here to look at that. That's our onions and our peppers, and they're getting some gorgeous color on them. And that's exactly what we're looking for. And then we're going to add the rest of the ingredients. Then that's going into the crock pot with some beef that I cooked off yesterday and some pork, and it's going to be fabulous. So we'll be right back on. Okay, our flavor base is doing its thing. Now that it's down to that level, I'm going to add in about 5 cloves of minced garlic. Put them in there. About 3 bay leaves. 3 tablespoons, yes, tablespoons of oregano, Italian oregano. This is half dry and half from out in the garden. And a tablespoon of fennel seeds. I'm going to add some sausage into this, and I want that nice fennel-y flavor from a good Italian sausage. And since these aren't the best Italian sausages, I'm going to help them along and throw in some fennel. So we're going to mix that all together and let that perfume up. This is really just so simple. This sauce just comes together so nicely. Okay, now it's all seasoned. We're going to throw in the next ingredient, which is a can of Hunt's tomato paste. Now, the tomato paste is going to help in the long run down the far end of this by thickening it up and giving another depth of tomato flavor to our sauce. Here's an old trick Mom taught. Cut the other end of the can out. Then just put your tomato paste right on through. It's amazing how much tomato paste you get out when you do that. It comes all right out. And we're just going to mix that in together and let that get a little bit of cooked flavor to it. We don't want the raw taste that comes out of the can. Mix it in with your other vegetables. I'm going to drop the heat down a little bit. If it's a touch dry like this is, I'm going to add a splash of olive oil just to help things move around a little bit. Now, as I was saying earlier, this may seem like a lot of seasoning, but this is going to season this entire crock pot full, and I want it to be a very flavorful sauce. Okay. The tomato paste has turned from that bright red to this luscious looking brown color. I gotta get you in here to see that. Beautiful. In just that short time, that tomato paste has cooked and gotten up some beautiful brown caramelized color. Now we're gonna loosen the sauce up. I've got some, since I'm past growing season with tomatoes, and I didn't have a whole bunch of big tomatoes this year, I buy canned. Canned are just as good. They're picked at the peak of their flavor. They're packaged so well. Hunt's does a fabulous job on these fire roasted diced tomatoes. I'm going to add those right in here. Get everything off the bottom of the pan. Use that liquid that we just added in there to help loosen everything up. Beautiful. Hit this with a little bit of salt. If you want, I happen to like a little bit of red pepper flakes. Just like half a teaspoon. Throw them in there. That's going to add a little spice in the back end. Not a whole lot. Okay, we're just about ready to go into the crock pot with this. Again, let's get you in there and take a look at that, see what that looks like. Beautiful with the tomatoes and the paste, and it's just so thick and rich and full of flavor right now. You can't test the seasoning right now because it would be too overpowering. You got to test it later. One more secret ingredient, and this is ready to go into the crock pot. I'm going to take 1 tablespoon of regular white sugar. Put this, sprinkle it all in. Maybe 2. Let me do 2. 2 tablespoons. That's going to help later to sweeten this sauce up to the right sweetness that it's supposed to be. And it stops the acidity to the point where it's not going to give everybody agite after they eat it. That's an upset stomach in Italian. Okay. I'm going to put this into the crock pot now. Get that all hooked up. Put it on low. And in it's going to go. Okay. Now that that's in, again, I'm not working with a lot of fresh tomatoes, so I went and picked up this humongous can of picked tomatoes in natural juice. You can use these, you can use San Marzano tomatoes. Any of the canned tomato products that are out there today are absolutely fabulous. Like I said earlier, I like the Hunt's for their fire roasted. I like the Tutto Rosa Italian tomatoes, the San Marzano ones, I like those. Now, these are whole tomatoes packed in their own juice, just like that. See, they come just like that. You can squish them with your hands. I do that sometimes. Today I'm going to stick them in the blender. I'm going to cut them all up and then put them in the pot. So while I do that and get this all prepped in the pot, you really need, it's a can. You can figure that out. When I get that all done and in the pot, then we're going to move on to the second step. So I'll be right back. Okay, after I did the first batch, I figured you kind of might want to see what it looks like when what consistency I bring these down to when I'm putting them in. So the first one I kind of liquefied them, made them just like sauce. This one, now remember, like I said, these are whole tomatoes and they're in their natural juices. And what we're going to do, this batch is, I wanted a little bit on the chunkier side, so I'm only going to hit it a couple of times. So I moved my blending station with my Ninja blender over here so you guys can see this. And we're just going to hit it with a couple of pulses until I get nice chunks of tomatoes in there. Some people don't like the seeds in their sauce and would strain this and all that. I happen to like the seeds in the sauce. And I want it kind tiny, on the chunky, I want a chunky sauce. I want a smooth, you know, processed type sauce. So that's probably about it. I'm gonna see what we got here. I want to see some chunks of tomato. Yeah, I have chunks of tomato in there. This is beautiful, just like that. That's, see, nice little chunks of tomato. That's gonna be perfect. So off it comes into the crock pot. Give it a little quick stir. Give it a quick stir. Now all of those flavors are mixing together. We got our thick base and now our tomato that we put in there, and this is just going to be fabulous. The only next thing we've got to do is prep our meat so that we can stick the meat inside here so it can cook down too. So we're not quite ready, just about. We're going to cut up our meat, put it inside, then we're going to just let this go. Let it cook. Go away, go to school, go to work, go out on a trip. Come back in 6-7 hours, it'll be beautiful. Let me clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to get the meat set up, and we'll be right back. Okay, if we were making a regular marinara sauce, we'd be done. We just let that cook, go away, whatever. I'm making a meat sauce. I want a meat sauce, a hearty meat sauce, with chunks of meat in there. So you don't need a side dish of meat. You just pour this over pasta, and it'll be absolutely phenomenal. I've got some different meats. I had a barbecue yesterday, so I have some different meats that I threw on the grill and partially cooked to get that char on the outside. And I'm going to take those, I'm going to put them in there too. So we got some sausage, Italian sausage, and I'm going to cut that up into thin slices just like this. This really makes, like I said, a phenomenal sauce. Sometimes we would do this with just beef, or sometimes just pork, sometimes just the sausage. But I'm going to just cut up 2 of these sausages. So when you get a piece of spaghetti with your sausage in it, it's just phenomenal. It's a phenomenal thing. But this is the way my family did it. Other families do it other ways. There's no right or wrong way. The only wrong way is if it tastes bad. So in goes the sausage. Like I said earlier, we bumped up that sausage flavor by adding in the fennel. This is a thin pounded pork chop. I'm just going to cut it up into pieces. It's going to break down inside the sauce as it's cooking, but I'm just going to help it along by making it into manageable pieces. We've got a nice little bone here, so I'm cutting around the bone. Feel free, throw the bone in, a lot of flavor in there, so we'll fish it out later. As a matter of fact, we want them bones. We want them bones. This is a piece of beef. This is from the rib side, like country beef ribs. Gonna throw that in there. All this is going to cook down to where it's going to be so magnificently tender. It's incredible. Bones equal flavor. Bones equal flavor. So I've got, these are beef neck bones. So they've got the bones and they've got a little bit of meat around them. They're going in whole. We're going to fish the bones out later. Just like that. We got a couple more of these in here. It's almost going to be like a sauce that has a brajol built right into it, which is just a pound of beef that's been slow cooked in tomato sauce. That's what brajol is. It can also be pork too, but We're gonna get all of those neck bones in there. And plus, these are the cheaper cuts of meat. Don't go for expensive cuts of meat, folks. Go for the cheap cuts of meat. You get a lot of flavor out of them, you just gotta coax it out of them a little bit. Okay, so there's all the bones, all the neck bones. I've got some more pieces in here. Let me see how much I can fit in here. I don't want it to be turned into a meat pie, I just want meat sauce. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to wind up freezing this. I'm going to wind up freezing the rest of this meat and using it another day. So that's it for that. I'm going to stick this cover on there. Let me wash my hands. And we're going to let it cook for 7 hours. Let the crock pot do its thing. And when it's done, we'll be back. Look at how beautiful. This is what 6 hours and our beautiful crock pot can do to all those wonderful ingredients. We've got a gorgeous sauce here, and in a few minutes, as soon as the pasta is done, I'm going to serve this up, we're going to plate it, and we're going to have a wonderful meal. We'll see you in a little bit. Our beautiful, beautiful, slow-cooked meat sauce is complete. It's served. In this case, I served some nice rigatoni with it. I've got some heated, toasted buttered bread, and a beautiful red wine. It's a Chianti, it's a Gabbiano Chianti 2011. Beautiful to serve this kind of a dish. I'm gonna put a little Parmigiano Reggiano over the top, and a little bit of diced parsley, Italian of course, and I'm gonna enjoy the meal. Now my favorite part, and that is the tasting. The meat, like I told you, literally fell off the bones. So it's so tender and succulent. That slight smoky flavor from the barbecue, cooking all that meat. Delicious. The slow cooked tomatoes, the onions, it's got a nice bite to it. There's a little heat and a tiny background edge. Truly, truly a delicious dish. And what did you have to do? Prep some ingredients, put them in the slow cooker, boil some water and cook some pasta. Can't get much simpler than that, I tell you. So, do try this. Come back. I hope you learned something. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.